All right, so one of the other hot topics, at least throughout the first week of the season, has been the struggles of Rafael Devers, the Red Sox star player. And look, there's a few things we can go into with this, but one, there is a mechanical side that we'll talk about, but let's talk about the mental side real quickly to start. Rafael Devers no longer playing third base, learning how to DH. You have frustrations about that whole situation if we've seen it all play out. So that can mess with your mind if you don't have a clear head. But then on top of it right now, Rafi is just a hair off. And in baseball, mechanics can just be one little thing that can make a difference from you having success or finding yourself in a slump. So earlier on, we've seen for Rafi, he's missing on a lot of fastballs. So you're going to see right now as we go, a lot of heaters, pitches that he can hit are getting blown right by him. And yes, I understand that's 99. But the consensus of what you're seeing, and we'll get to this, is that his shoulder's flying off, it's going away, head's coming off the baseball, right? Those are going to be the factors that we're going to look at. But there's another thing in an off-speed pitch that we're going to see here from Evaldi will be one of the telling signs. But here's another lefty, and I know, funky, but it's still a pitch that he can drive. Oh. And I know it's a funky lefty right here, but this is a pitch that Rafi can drive. And he's just not doing it. And look, 89, and again, crafty lefty, tough angle. But if you're seeing his head right here, everything's going that way, right? And if you're hitting, your focus is, especially on a lefty, you got to keep everything in. Keep everything in to have success, okay? But what the really telling thing for me is, when we move forward, it's this curveball right here, okay? So I want you to watch what I consider, when we talk about with hitters, all hitters can have different places where they have to start or where their hands are. But if you are maybe a hair out of that firing position, that can set you off. And I like to consider it a two-stage swing. So when you're going to swing and you're getting to the spot, say that's your firing position. But if you're not getting to that firing position and you're trying to find it, then your body, as you're going forward, is trying to find this area, and you almost feel like it's a two-stage swing. So watch Rafi right here, where he's getting ready on this curveball, and see if you see a two-stage. So he puts his foot down. All right? We'll rewind it. So foot's going down, and it looks like if you see his front side, he's almost like he's out in front. And then the second stage is, that's step one. Stage two is then he's trying to swing. Okay? And then he swings right through it. So again, let's rewind it one more time. One, foot's down, body's trying to get, his hands trying to get to the spot, he's too far out in front. And then the second thing, all you can do if your hands aren't in that spot, is you got to pull off the baseball and watch his head then and his shoulder are just going to keep going out after this. Everything finishes away, heads away. And instead of your eyes being down that way on the ball, his head at the end is trying to keep his eyes on it, but his whole body is going away. And to me, it just means that wherever his load is, it's a hair off. And maybe you can say the timing of his leg kick is also a hair off, no doubt about it. But if you're not in a good spot or your right spot, you're going to feel out of sync. And then it can start to snowball in this effect. So as we watch this continue, there's another curveball. That's the one example again. But as we see it continue here, okay? Fastball going to be right by him. Where's his body going? Out. Another fastball right down the middle. There it is. And look at his head. It's not even looking at the ball. All the way going that way. Body falling away, right? And Rafi can hit every pitch. So for everyone saying, oh man, he's just slumping or he's out of shape, I'm not buying all of that as far as the hit tool. Yes, that can have some impacts, But if your head's coming off the baseball this amount, you're going to have struggles. If your hands aren't in the right spot, you're going to have struggles even on pitches right down the middle. So in Texas, I saw a guy that was pulling off the baseball a lot. Mechanics were off. And right there, same thing. The finish right there is all the way. And yes, Jacob deGrom is one of the best in the game. There's no doubt about that. But when you feel like you got to rev up and you got to do more, you're going to pull off the baseball and miss pitches that you think you can hit. And that's kind of what was happening. And this lefty right here, high fastball, this is actually one of the ones where he kept his head on a little bit longer. But the end result is you're looking up here instead of looking down here. So as we continue on, just wanted to give the example of what I'm seeing with what's happening. And this last stage, and this is a two-stage swing, look at this front foot starting to go out. And yes, not all hitters that open or stay open to start are going to get that foot closed. But when you're looking right here, and this is if we're trying to keep this in line with this foot, when your movement's that way and this front shoulder's already going, all you can do is to kind of make soft contact here. That's what he does. Just kind of smacks it into the ground. And then once those frustrations start to build and you're missing on the fastballs, well, then guess what? You face really good pitchers. You can swing at some junk in the dirt because you're not picking it up now. Now you're just frustrated, and now the mental side's starting to kick in. And you're going, dang. And deGrom, like I said, really good pitcher. Now, if you are a Devers, if you're a Red Sox fan and you're worried about him, this is signs for optimism against the O's just on Monday in the home opener for Baltimore. He's actually going to take some good passes and some great takes. Overall here, watch this. So we saw him swing at those curveballs. Takes that curveball here. Watch another one here. This is a 3-2 pitch, okay? And for a lefty that was pulling off the baseball so much, watch Rafi stay on this. And to me, it's telling me he's seen the ball longer. And to stay in on the lefty to recognize that this is ball 4. And look, yeah, again, naturally, he stays a little bit more out. And his body might still be going a little bit away. But he actually saw that out of the hand. And yeah, you might think, well, Ryan, that's way off the plate. For a guy that has not seen the baseball as well, he's seen the curveball long enough to be able to register that it's a ball. And he actually had 2 walks in this game. But right here, walk, there it is. The problem then with Rafi still is that these are better swings, but he's missing his pitches to drive. So right there, it's not a bad swing, but it's the same thing of missing your pitch. And he's still pulling off the baseball. I still think it's because he's not in his loading position. You can say that maybe he's rushing and then he's got to play catch up. But if your hands aren't in the right spot when you're coming down and you're trying to find it still, your first movement is you want to come off the baseball. So Rafi, it's still happening here. And so when you miss your pitch to hit, then you're going to get rung up on some absolute dot piece right there by Cade Povich, man. That's picture perfect. But for Rafi, it's very close. And again, here's this final walk, 3-2 count, high pitch, and he takes. And for people saying, well, Ryan, that's an easy one to take. No, for a guy that is struggling right now, and he struck out a lot, to have those 2 walks and take those pitches is showing me he's starting to pick it up more. Now I'm just curious if he can get his mechanics back to where they need to be. And then more importantly, can he be able to relax his mind? It's been a very frustrating last month and a half for Rafi Devers since they signed Alex Bregman. But there's no doubt in my mind he is one swing away from changing it all again. And I expect Rafi Devers to get going here soon. But if you're an Oriole fan, just hope it's not this series against Baltimore. But hey, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show do this live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday right here on YouTube.